7, 9. I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gunning on the gun tonight. I'm like a loaded gun. Okay. Wow. That one's barely on there. Okay. Now it kicked me out of this one. Okay. I don't know if I can find myself here. Okay, so I'll go into what's his face's. Go into this dude's live stream, and I should be able to find it this way. Viral Gabe, I'm going to be commenting on this gentleman. Okay, that's Viral Gabe. He's living in his car. I'm going to comment on that. And this one is also living in his car. Well, looks like he's in a room, but he's usually homeless. And so Viral Gabe too. Now, could it be Hollywood? It could be. Okay, got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Benefit of a doubt. Um, but anyhow, I'm trying to find myself here. Uh, okay. The chick looks like Valerie Bertinelli. Somebody's making some steaks. Oh, the girl who wears rose-colored glasses. Okie dokie. Um, we're at the Avenel High School in Avenel, California. I'm getting charged up because there was two cars sitting over at the free charger. I'm surprised it's even working at night, but it is. But there's two cars charging up, so you know there's something weird going on. Okay, I already told you who the suspects are. Okay, so there's me. So I am out there, that's for sure. I'm searchable. It looks blue, kind of. Okay, so um, I bought the power bank, and I'm like, look how big these batteries are. It's got the famous 18650 batteries. They power cars with these batteries. The 1996 like um, through the 1998 um, Toyota RAV4 EV uses these batteries, 1650s, that are in this power bank that I'm talking about. And it's these batteries. See this flashlight? It's these batteries. These batteries power the Toyota RAV4. It has 4,000 of them, 4,400. And turns out they're pretty good, but they're Samsungs, right? Who knows what kind these are? Who knows who made this one? But the Samsung 18650, that's the size of the battery. Um, we're good. And so this power bank, I'm looking at it, I'm like, it must have 8 of these in it because it's about that big and that wide. And so I plugged it into my phones right now. And the damn thing didn't even hardly charge the phone. It wasn't fast charging my phone. And the damn thing was dropping. It was like 100%. I only had it on for like 15 minutes and it dropped like at least 10 or 15%. So I'm like, you know what? These mofos are taking their old junky batteries that have been sitting around for who knows how many years, and instead of paying to um, uh, dispose of them because they're hazardous material, they're putting them in these freaking power banks. They're putting them in these power banks and selling them on YouTube, and the people never figure it out that the damn thing is a pile of crap. crap. The batteries are no good. So you would have to take your USB cables and put a load on it, because you got 4 USB cables. You'd have to take 4 USB cables and put a load on that damn thing to prove it. But it's basically a big pile of crap, and they're selling them for like $17 or $18, and that's pathetic. Unless it got, damaged from heat and staying in the cold, right? Some cheap ass batteries, they do fail that way. And it is cold out in my living room in the winter months. And I mean, that could be it. But if I ever order another one, I'd do a load test on it, on the device, because if it has 8 of these in it, it's supposed to, each one of these, like I said, puts out 3.5. So do the math. 3.5 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24, and then 3 times 4 is 12. So 24 plus 12 is like, what, 40 watts? That thing's supposed to put out 40 watts for 1 hour. So you could, put 4 10 watt loads on it. I definitely would. That way you could, you know, let eBay know that these clowns are selling junk. I mean, I don't mean to jump the gun or nothing. I haven't tested it or anything like that, but I'm just, you know, just running my phone, and it dropped down to like 85%, from 100% down to 85%. So that's what I thought. I'm just like, they're taking those old junky batteries and they're putting them in this nice looking case that has a microprocessor in it, has liquid crystal display, but the batteries are no good. I'm not sure. But yeah, it shouldn't have even put a dent in it. It shouldn't have even dropped like 3%, 2%. And look at the difference in size. It's like 20 times bigger than the battery that's sitting in this thing. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And so I guess I have to turn this on to turn these on. Yeah, and to keep all my things charged. Hello, people that came in the comments. Okay, so you see what's going on in Los Angeles right now, right? It might have something to do with this documentary that is available. Now, is it showing it forward, or can you read that? Let me see. I wanted to see. Can you read that, or is it backwards? It's backwards, huh? That's backwards. Okay. So, it might have something to do with that documentary that you can find on Amazon. And there's 2 listings. One says, we've only got 8 more left. And the other listing says, we only got 5 more left. So, I'm keeping an eye on them. And so, have you started drinking organic milk? You know the nutritional attributes of milk, raw milk, right? If you don't know, maybe I'll tell you next time. But just think of it this way. It's just like the wheat. Remember what I told you about the wheat? It's basically the same thing. So, definitely go buy some raw milk or some ice cream from this company that makes the raw milk, because they're making the ice cream off of raw milk. Doesn't have any, um, what's it called? BGH, BGH. That's bovine. Well, you look it up. It's BGH. It's nasty crap, right? And it doesn't have any antibiotics and none of that crap. It's just natural stuff, and it's also got all the enzymes and everything. And so the name of the company that makes the ice cream, I know there's a lot of people who like ice cream. Go knock yourself out, because this is real ice cream. You know how bad the ice cream is. Before, the only place you used to be able to get it was if you take your butt down to Montana. That's the only place you could get it. Or Pennsylvania, through these Amish farmers, um, Amos Miller Farms. Okay? It's available now in Fresno. All you people who are here listening locally, it's in Fresno, California. They have raw milk, real raw milk. 2 years ago, if you tried buying raw milk, they would put the person who's trying to sell it, they would put them in prison. Okay? And it's available now at this store. I've never even been in this store. I never even knew this store existed. But they have all kinds of organic stuff. It's called Sprouts Farmers Market. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I got a picture here. I'm going to make a better picture of it. I'm going to put it on photo paper. Okay, but that's how the store looks. It's called Sprouts Farmers Market. Go get some yogurt or some ice cream. The brand name from the place that makes it here in Petaluma, California, in Sonoma County, is called Strauss Family Creamery. Okay, but there's actually another company. I don't know how good they are or not, but there's another company right here in Fresno. It's called Raw Farm. Okay, so you know they've got all the good eggs and everything in there, all organic produce. This is remarkable. Okay, this is like Whole Foods 3.0. I've never been there before. Whenever I get to Fresno, I'm going to go check it out and grab myself some raw milk, and some ice cream and some yogurt and some organic cheese. I told you the story on cheese, okay? And so, first of all, who cares about the extraterrestrials? Everybody left. Okay, who cares about the extraterrestrials? Okay, I've told you that the people who are telling you about the extraterrestrials, I suppose, are extraterrestrials themselves. Okay? Is that too hard to believe? It's amazing that people still wonder if extraterrestrials exist. You have these people telling you. Okay? It's not, don't just take it from me, a regular, you know, person here out on the streets making a live stream in here because financially oppressed, sitting here watching other people on the beach, right? Thank goodness for these live streams so that you can see what is available out there. You got people, some live streamers, and they're showing you these beaches you never even knew existed. They're living up high on the hog. It's beautiful. Beautiful beach. People are living their life. But not the ones who don't have any money. The 5%. And so, okay. So, you know who the world's biggest whistleblower ever walked on 2 feet? His name is Kevin Trudeau. He was the biggest whistleblower here in the United States. The biggest whistleblower in the United Kingdom, Europe, is David Icke. Both of these are on my Richter scale as I think they are extraterrestrials themselves. Or how would they know all this information? Well, the biggest whistleblower here in the United States, who alerted the people to all the stuff they're barely finding out about now, it's bombarding all of social media. These things that you're hearing about the food, this is all because of Kevin Trudeau. Okay? That's where how the information got out there. Through his book put out there on the market. And in about 2008, YouTube barely came on the scene. We didn't have live streams. We had to load the videos up. Okay? He started going out there and he started saying he wanted to run for Congress. And he was telling everything. He was a whistleblower. And they just all like jumped him. All of the people in high levels of Congress, people in high levels of, CEOs and the, most powerful multinational corporations, they just all jumped him. Threw him in a kangaroo court, and this judge, he's Puerto Rican, okay? Back then, Kevin Trudeau was saying stuff that the Hispanic community did not like, okay? And so they put him in front of Judge Guzman. And Judge Guzman, because he was originally seeing Judge Gettleman, and Judge Gettleman was only going to give him 6 months. Then they freaking did him dirty. And they took Judge Gettleman out and they put him in front of this judge, Judge Guzman. And Judge Guzman brought the hammer down on him, put him in there for 10 years. Okay? Whistleblower. And so now he's out. It was like 2014, and it was March 17. Yeah, March 17, and it was 2014 when they threw him in prison. And so now he's back out, and he's making videos every now and then. He doesn't hardly do a live stream, which is, I guess that's his prerogative. Who knows what's going on with him? He used to be a multimillionaire. He used to travel all around the world. He used to kick it in Germany all the time. He had a house in Santa Monica, had a house in San Diego, and had a house in Chicago. And they went in and took all his crap, put it out in the front yards, and sold it to the public, and sold his houses. Left him with nothing but the clothes on his back, and threw him in prison. And mainstream media didn't say a word about it. If you go research it online, it's all lies. Okay? And so anyhow, this is how the people know about it. So Kevin Trudeau just made a video recently, and it's talking about the aliens. So if you want to know if the aliens are here, like I've been saying they are, they're in everything. They're in the schools, they're teachers, they're in high-level governments, the police chiefs, the attorney generals, especially judges. Look at judges, okay? I think especially, you know how bad the judicial system is. And they're from the top all the way down into the people who are homeless. Okay? They're working for the secret intelligence agencies, which is infested with these things. How do you think they control it? Because they have the legal right to spy on anybody they damn well please. Congress enacted the law in 1998, making every cell phone that comes off the manufacturing line have a code that they can punch up on their computers and watch what you're doing right now. Okay? And listen to you. They passed this law in 1998. If you don't believe me, read the book Snitch Culture by Jim Redden, and you'll get a clue. Okay, so um, Kevin Trudeau just made a video and he's telling you about it's all facts. He's giving you straight facts that they are here. Okay, so go watch that video of Kevin Trudeau, and once you learn that they're here, then find out what David Icke is saying that they're doing. Okay, these extraterrestrials are Lucifer and the fallen angels. Okay? So what does Lucifer and the fallen angels do? They worship Satan. Okay? What do Satanists do? That's what they're doing. They've been doing it since the age of ancient Egypt, Babylon. It's documented facts what they do. I can't say it because I'll get people freaking report. I can't say the words. They take these things and they do their freaking rituals with them. The whole 9 yards. Why do you think I was telling you Epstein, it would make Epstein Island look like a walk in the park? It's all there in the book, The Biggest Secret by David Icke. Okay? So, I was trying to get this information out to the Spanish-speaking community because Spanish is the second most spoken language in the United States, followed by Chinese. And so I just did a little research and I noticed that the English-speaking community is catching on. Okay? It's on fire. Why do you think they're selling raw milk and all organic products at this store? Sprouts Farmers Market. That's the name of the store. Sprouts Farmers Market. They're in 25 states already, but they're mostly in California, Texas, Arizona, and Florida. Okay? I didn't even know they were here. And so I was like, okay. I said Walmart needs to put crime tape around the bread aisle and around the tortillas because it's a freaking crime scene. It's a crime that what they're doing. I explained all that before, and I'm not going to explain it right now, okay? But you can at least find Dave's Killer Bread in the bread aisle. But this stuff is made with all organic flour, and it doesn't have all that bad crap in it. So they cleaned up at least one brand of bread in there. All the rest is still garbage. But I looked for the organic tortillas, and they are basically non-existent. I had to go back and forth before I finally found the tortillas that were organic, and they're coming from the East Coast. They have a place right here that makes organic tortillas. Why are they not on the shelves here in California? It's called La Tortilla Factory. They get their wheat from a company right here in Petaluma where they have these good dairies at that has all this dairy products, making good bread with good wheat. Why are those not on the shelf? We know this is good stuff, right? This stuff coming from the East Coast, I don't think it's real. I think they're taking regular stuff and throwing it in packages that say organic on it. Because who's going to test it? Have you heard of any people making organic stuff that got busted for not using organic stuff? You think they want to put organic stuff? They're making bank on you being not well later on off feeding you this crap. They know that if they start straighten up and fly right, they're going to stop having all that, raking in all that cash later on from you. It's a hustle. The second and third largest industry in the United States are running a hustle on your ass. Okay? And so I'm like, the people are catching on to the bread a lot. I've got the good bread. Okay? I've already found where to buy it here in Hanford, California. But so I wanted to find out if it's, if the people are catching on in the Hispanic community. So I did some research and I found that Mexico eats tortillas, right? Over here we eat bread, but the Latino community, they eat tortillas. They have tacos, they have burritos, okay, flour tortillas. Mexico does not grow. They grow a lot of stuff. They grow tomatoes, bell peppers, everything. Excellent products, too. Better than the United States now. But they do not grow their own wheat because they don't have no water to grow it. They can't make no money off it. So they buy it from us. 80% of their wheat is coming from the United States. And the amount of that wheat going to Mexico, the percentage of organic wheat going to Mexico is virtually non-existent. Is it that organic tortillas on the shelf are virtually non-existent? Probably 0.01%. 0.01% is organic, and the ones that are on the shelf, I don't think they're even organic. Who's testing them? They're not telling you where they get their wheat from. This one does. They tell you they're getting their wheat from Utah, the one that's here in California, and it's all organic. So I'm like, this community, the Hispanic community, is not catching on. And so I started looking at the books where this information is at. And, if it was on an audio program or something, that would be good because I don't think they're reading. People are not reading. Students are not reading. They're not even teaching the students to read in books anymore, from what I'm hearing. So this is a big problem. You can't get the information to them if they don't read. So you have to find some type of documentaries or audio programs, and they're not available. But I was just starting at first base, and I wanted to get the books, these two whistleblowers, Kevin Trudeau and David Icke, get their books that are written in Spanish. And so Kevin Trudeau's book is available now. It got transferred into Spanish in 2022. So it's been 23, 24, 25, 26. It's been basically a little bit over 3 years. It's available in Spanish, but I don't think anybody knows about it. So I'm working on that, okay, because it is on Amazon right now. It's available in Spanish. Now, the books by David Icke, Kevin Trudeau's book tells you about all the stuff they're doing to your food, okay? And all kinds of stuff like that that you can't even speak, okay? And so David Icke is telling you about the extraterrestrials, who they're basically the same ones, right? They hate humans. If you read the Holy Quran and read the Book of the Heights, you can read the dialogue between the serpent and God, and um, and you'll see that the humans are an avowed enemy of these. In the Quran, they're called jinns. In the our holy scriptures, they're called Nephilim. Okay, and so I was like, okay, well, let's get this book and show it to the to the Latino community. To maybe there's a few of them that actually read, right? And that's all you need, is just a few to get it started. Because right now the information is virtually non-existent. You can tell because they're buying these tortillas made with this freaking garbage. Where the English speaking people, they're already catching on. The sales are climbing fast. People are catching on more and more. Hence, that's why you have this store now. Got the good bread and the good dairy. And so I was going to buy the book because there's two books by David Icke. One is The Biggest Secret. That one has the most information, I think, in it, especially in chapter 16. All these people that he named 25 years ago are being subpoenaed into court now, 25 years later. Now they're old, but back then they were getting it on and doing the wild thing, right? What were they doing in Babylon? Orgies, who knows what the hell else, and their rituals. And they're not embarrassed about it. They could give two damns. They could care less what you think about them and their rituals. They hate the humans anyway. And if you want to know what they are like, just listen to the professor. This professor who just came on the scene like 2 days ago, just out of nowhere. He's telling all this stuff in a college class, a high advanced college class. You probably won't even understand what he's talking about if you've never sat in a college classroom, but it's free. He's teaching college courses and it's free on YouTube. You can take a free college course. This guy has a whole arsenal telling you the same thing. And about these people, it's documented what they do. They're still doing it. And so I looked for the book on Amazon and they pulled it off the market. This must have been like yesterday because they were available. They've been available. And I just went in checking today and they pulled it off the market. This is The Biggest Secret in Spanish. Okay? It's called El Mayor Secreto de David Icke. You see the people who are on there? Everyone except for Diana, Princess Diana. The others are reptilian shapeshifters. These are the top leaders in the highest echelons of our government. They're extraterrestrials, also known as Lucifer and the fallen angels. And they have their rituals that they've had since the age of ancient Babylon. Why do you think all this stuff is coming out? What they're doing. Okay? So, he's got this book, and they pulled it off the market on Amazon. It's not available. And he's got another book that's called Children of the Matrix. in Spanish it's called hijos del matri or something like that. And they pulled it off the market too. So that's kind of strange. I guess it's that market is huge. The tortilla market and that whole Latino market is freaking huge. So they're trying to nip it in the bud. Pulled it off the market. I'm surprised that they haven't. But yeah, so okay, so let me tell you about that girl. Okay. Um First of all, there's this guy living in his car. This is inhumane. And I I put a comment on his video earlier, because he was commenting on the Iran war. And I don't know where the hell he's getting his information from. But I said, listen to this professor on predictive history. That's the name of the channel. Predictive history. I said, listen to this. It's a college course. It's an advanced college course. It's for free. You'll get a free college education. And I said, you'll see it differently than what you think it is. Okay? And but right now he's living in his car. Okay? Pretty much it looks like he's living in his car. And down in Los Angeles. You know, everyone's got their own prerogative, but um you can't be living like that. And it's inhumane. Somebody should go help him, right? And people like this who are homeless, like the ones in Fresno, there's 1,450 homeless people in Fresno. They got $10 million on the way. Okay? $10 million coming from the federal government to help the homeless people. You do the math. There's 1,450 homeless people in Fresno. Divide that $10 million by 1,450 homeless people. That's who it's for. It's for the homeless people. That is $7,500 for each one of them. I think. Let me ask AI. What is 10 million divided by 1,450? 6,000.
The answer is approximately 6,896.
Basically, $4 shy of $7,000 each. How much money you think they're going to get out of it? I would say probably about $80. The rest of the 5,800 is going to go to the politicians. They're going to steal it. Okay? Because let me tell you why I know they're going to steal it. Because first of all, nobody's even talking about it. They don't tell you where the check is coming from. They don't tell you who receives the check, which bank accounts. They completely are hush-hush about it. They don't tell the public nothing about this money because they're a pack of freaking wolves. Okay? You got $10 million on the way right now. The federal government already said, we're sending you $10 million to help your homeless people out there. That's $7,000 each. Why don't they just go out there and give them the money? Right? And so, um, that is nothing compared to what the government gave them 2 or 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, they did not give them $10 million. They gave them $750 million. Let that sink in. Okay? For the homeless people in Fresno. You know how much money that is for each person? That is $550,000. Each one of them you can buy a house for each one of them, and they would still have $300,000 left over. Each homeless person, they would be in a house right now. That is a freaking hellacious amount of money. And the homeless people don't even know it. They don't even know they were supposed to get $550,000 each. Okay, so, and now they should be getting $5,000 each or $7,000 each. They ain't gonna get nothing because that pack of wolves are like have their tongues hanging out right now, waiting for that money. They're freaking partying right now. They know that money's on the way. And so I looked up to see what Jim Bakker is doing. You know who Jim Bakker is, right? He was the evangelist. They threw him in jail. And because, in my opinion, I'm just going to tell you, in my opinion, it was because he was selling what's called silver colloid. Some people call it colloidal silver. And you can buy it from a company out of Canada. You can't really, you can't market this stuff here in the United States. There's a company called SOTA, SOTA, and they sell they're controversial medical devices. And they're not allowed to be built in the United States. But one of those devices, I used to build these devices, they're electronic devices. One of the products that they sell, it's a protocol, it's a co-kit. One of the things is to make colloidal silver. You make it with silver and a 9-volt battery. And this is called colloidal silver. And according to Bob Beck, a Jet Propulsion Laboratory scientist, this is the most powerful antibiotic known to man since the age of ancient Rome. Okay? Jim Bakker was selling it. And I think that's why they threw him in jail. He was a TV evangelist, but he was selling the silver colloid. Alex Jones was also selling it. He still is, I think. And why do you think the government is trying to sue him for $50 billion? Okay? And so they always say something else, but that's really what it is. Okay? It's silver colloid. And so I looked at Jim Bakker to see what he's doing. And his last video was like 10 days ago, so this was before the war started. But they were talking about the war. They were saying that they thought that the war was going to start this year, within 1 year. And like the next day it started, basically, because he made the video 10 days. How long has it been going on? 5 days or 6 days? And so um, he's still out there. He's still on YouTube. And I think he's selling survival buckets. Okay. He was selling survival buckets, and so was Alex Jones, for a war. Because they're saying if something happens, you're not going to have no water. They got a program now. They're teaching what to do if this pops off. They're showing the people, I forget exactly where it was, but I saw it just today. They're showing the people, teaching the people what to do if they drop the big one. And anyhow, so Jim Bakker was selling these survival buckets, and he was selling a lot of them. Alex Jones was also selling these survival buckets. What was it, a year ago or 2 years ago, they were talking about a war? And because I guess the billionaires are building bunkers, and so, everyone suspects it. So Alex Jones was selling these too. He was selling survival buckets, or buckets of food that have like a 16-month that it'll still be good. And um, he sold tons of them. He actually sold $240,000 worth of survival buckets of food. He sold $240,000 worth in one day. That's how much he was selling them. Like hotcakes, left and right. So what do you think the market is like right now? Who's selling them? So whoever is going to make bank right now selling those survival buckets. Okay. In this town, we have a little car wash that is in such bad shape. It's just terrible. And it's sitting on a good piece of property where, with a little bit of TLC, tender loving care, that could be a nice car wash where you can wash your car. And it's not like it doesn't get any business. On Sundays, it's jam-packed with cars, people washing their cars. It's the only car wash in town. And so the whole community uses this car wash, and yet they will not fix the car wash for the community. When they spent $70,000 on a charger that's supposed to be for low-income people in low-income communities, but you got $50,000 Teslas hooked up to it 24/7, not letting other people use the charger. Even though $70,000 and you've got only a couple of people using it, the car wash has the whole community using that car wash. You can't fix that place up for 1/10 the cost that you put in for the other services for the community. What are these people thinking? Who's making these deals? $10,000 would fix that place up. You can get some new machines to where you can get quarters. And so, yeah, that's just something I noticed. So, the First Amendment auditors, There's about 3 of them that I saw down in Los Angeles right now. I know who they are, right? I know their channels. When I go through my channels, they pop up on my channels. I can see what's going on in Los Angeles right now. You'll be able to do this unless they flood the live feeds, unless they flood it with mainstream media. Okay? Which mainstream media ain't even on these live feeds unless they're pretending to be regular people, which they are. I know that kind of doesn't make sense, but I don't got time to explain it right now. Um, the other the other YouTube that's not the live feeds, it's not the vertical live feeds, those will just be bombarded by mainstream media. You'll never be able to find the First Amendment auditors down there. If you're searching for them, you won't find them. They flood it with mainstream, thousands and thousands of over and over again. And so the First Amendment auditors who are down there, anyway, the First Amendment auditors who are down there need to be brought up to speed on water and the survival buckets and all the things that you need if they drop the big one. Okay, they're already starting to tell the people. The First Amendment auditors, the ones who are out there bringing us this coverage, showing us the live streams, they need to be educated on this because they need to have water and food so that they can keep us informed on what's going on over there if they drop the big one on their ass. Okay? And so um otherwise we're not going to know what's going on. Okay, so yeah. So in closing, I want to tell you about something. Not to toot my own horn, not to brag. I mean, everybody likes to brag, right? Everybody wants to feel important. But I want to share something with you that when all of these freaking clowns, all the freaking people who are under a media-induced hypnotic trance, who refuse to believe it, were running around like a bunch of idiots, even riding their bikes, they had masks on. And we were telling them it's a scam, right? Because we already heard from Leonard Horowitz was telling in his DVD, his documentary that he made. There's a lot of information on it that's not 100% perfect, okay? You make a video, you'll find out that make it the same way, okay? But he was basically telling you this was coming in his documentary called In Lies We Trust, Bioterrorism, okay? He took off to Hawaii. It was so bad back then. This is when Kevin Trudeau came out and he told the stuff too. It was bad. If anybody said anything about this stuff, like I'm saying right now, they would take you off the face of the earth. And so we already heard this. Bob Beck was talking about it in 1997 at the Ventura Forum down in Los Angeles. He was telling you this stuff was coming, which, by the way, they've removed these videos. I've got them on disc, DVD, but they removed these DVDs, these videos from YouTube. You can't find them no more. It was called the Ventura Forum with Bob Beck. He was telling you this was coming. He was telling you to have the silver colloid in your cabinet for when they unleash these things on the people. And anyhow, trying to keep it short. So we already knew this stuff. We were into alternative health. We knew that they were poisoning the food and all this stuff that's going on, things that I can't really even talk about. And I was going to these health freedom expos, world health freedom expos. People from all around the world were meeting and talking to each other. Famous people like Kevin Trudeau, Hulda Clark, Dr. Coldwell, Kim Soo Young, and all kinds of people. Sure, there was some con artists mixed in there. You're always going to get that. But for the most part, everyone was trying to expose the what they were doing. And so we already knew it. And like I told you, I bet the cashier in the store, I bet him $1,000 that it was bullshit. Shook hands on it. He was all, oh no, not this one, not this one, right? This is when, in the deepest part of it, when everybody was all freaking wearing their masks and stuff, they believed it. And he didn't honor the bet. That shows you what they're all about, right? And anyhow, I remember I was driving a truck back then, so I didn't, you know, I had someone tell me over the phone what was going on. Did you hear? There's no toilet paper in Walmart, and all the shelves are empty. And I'm like, I didn't, I was driving cross country during this time, and and so um, it was going crazy over here. I was in New Jersey, and so when you do a trip, it takes like 10 days, right? So you do maybe two trips a month. Some people do 3 trips a month. And so when I'd gotten here, I had taken the truck, it's an 18-wheeler, to, there used to be a car wash, and then they had a repair shop right next to it. And I pulled into the repair shop there, I think to get the light fixed, because I didn't know how to change the light, but now I know how to change the lights. Not too difficult. But to change the light and to have something else done to it. And this was deep in the pandemic. And I was like, you people are freaking full of shit, right? You're full of shit. And there was this one guy, and he had pulled up or something, and somehow or other we were talking about the pandemic. And I told him, I said, have you seen anybody kick over from it? And he's like, because he was like, oh, the pandemic. And I said, it's a scam. I said, have you seen anybody kick over from it? And he's like, my brother-in-law, right? Or my sister's brother-in-law kicked over from it. Freaking sat there and lied, right? How deep in denial is that? What a total piece of freaking trash this freaking dude is. And you know how many people are like that? Don't want to admit that they're freaking ignorant. And so I just wanted to share that with you. Because, what can you say? Oh, yeah, except turn around and walk off because you know he's bullshitting. Right? And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. So that's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And talk to you tomorrow. Oh, there's my thing. So some of the words that I can't say, I'm going to start writing them down on these cards, and it's backwards. So let me turn this around. Turn your love around. Do, 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 do. Let me turn this around so that I can show you some stuff real quick before I end the video. Okay, so this is my Facebook page. Okay, that's spelled BARNEYVALENZUELA. That's my Facebook page. Okay, so it's the one that has an 18-wheeler behind him. You can't see the 18 wheels, it's just the front of the truck. I took that picture in Hesperia, California. It's right outside of San Bernardino, California. And just in case you run into one of the decoys, right? That's my Facebook channel, and you'll see that it's not going to be up there very much longer. I'll take it down. Can't keep it up there. I got to share this other information. But right now I put that video up there that you can search for on YouTube. It's these body cams from the police. It's their body cam footage of this person in Clovis, California, which is basically Fresno, California. Not too long ago, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. The guy, you know, he had everything going for him. He must have had a good job. They were living in a nice apartment, and he had a nice brand new Tesla. So they were doing good. And I told you what the circumstances were. They were out in the car, and I gave you all the psychology the day before last night on the video I made. But if you want to search for this video, okay, it's titled "Husband Snaps After Catching Wife Cheating." I think that's the thing. Let me look up my Facebook. Okay, that just in this little small town, it's only got one traffic light in this small town. This 27-year-old guy shot and killed a 30-year-old guy. So what would make a man that age do something like that? There's only one thing that makes you that mad. That's when infidelity. Okay? Now, should it make you that mad? That's debatable. Okay? But the fact is that it does. Okay, I gave you the whole psychology of it and what I think about it. But anyhow, let me show you the video so that you can see this. This is senseless. Senseless. That's why I said there needs to be a class teaching people how to deal with this, because in my opinion, there's a 99% chance it's going to happen, and you're going to have to know how to deal with it. Okay? Some people do deal with it, and they stay together. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, the title of the video is, see how it always does this stuff when I try showing you something? Isn't that freaking goofy? Okay, the title of the video is, if you want to see it, okay, "Husband Snaps After Catching wife cheating. Okay, let me see if you can see it. I'm waiting for it to show up over here. Okay, well, I don't know if it's going to show up or not. This thing is it's such a lag, dude. It's freaking crazy. Okay, okay, so that's, check out this video and I might comment on it more. I might go into the psychology again of it later. Okay? But yeah, you can see it there. Okay. So, I've got a whole theory about this. I know a lot of people think it sounds bizarre, but it just boggles the mind that the people can be so freaking stupid. Do they like this stuff? Do they like people losing their life, stupid stuff like this? Because they're uneducated? They think this culture is the only culture? That is from ignorance and lack of education. Anyhow, one more thing I want to put out to the audience, because I know there's a lot of good guitar players out there. Okay? I've heard a couple good guitar players who know how to um, they know how to make it sound really good, which um, I don't know. They need to show people how to do it. Show them what kind of equipment they're using, what settings they're using, how to get that sound, because that's the main thing. It's tweaking out the guitar. It's difficult to get the sound before you start playing anything. Usually it sounds really horrible. It's just the distortion is just, it's irritating. I would say 80% of the people do not know how to freaking tweak the guitar out before you play anything. Anyhow, um, I want to put this out there for the music community. I want to let you know something that's going on, because I watched somebody playing guitar just a few minutes ago, about an hour ago, and there's one thing that I've noticed off all of these people who are playing music. Okay, you can be surfing through the vertical live feeds and everything is fine, but as soon as you come up on somebody playing music, it freaking just starts freezing left and right. And I think this is Hollywood, because they don't like people playing music for free. They want to make money off of it. I think it's Hollywood. All these people playing music every time. There's some that there's a couple that it doesn't, but I don't like the bands. I would listen to it for a little while and then I'm like, get out of here. So the ones that it's not, that's probably Hollywood. But I've noticed a lot of these bands who are, nobody knows about them. They're being basically sandboxed so that nobody wants to listen to it. I just wanted to let you know that. Okay? Thanks for tuning in. Signing out from the high school here in Avenel, California. Just charging up here. Had to get out of the house. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you later.